No change, no new injuries from the Crystal Palace game. So for this weekend, we still Keira Walsh and Naomi Girma, Guro Reiten won't be available for the game on the weekend, and Miley Sempome as well.
Lovely, thank you. Obviously, you mentioned big game over the weekend. One of 4 games you got against Manchester City. A very unusual setup to have over a period of 12 days. Have you ever had that experience before? And I guess what was the immediate reaction to seeing that?
I had kind of 2 different reactions. Really happy to be in that situation because it means we went deep in every competition and we have the opportunity to play a final on Saturday, to play the Champions League quarter-finals, but also the league game. As you said, it's really unusual. I had this experience before when I was in Lyon. Maybe I played PSG 3 times in 1 week. In the league, sometimes in the cup final and in the Champions League, but 4 times in 12 days. Yeah, that's really unusual, but we are really happy to be in that position.
You'll hopefully get used to them by the 4th week.
Yes.
Changes to Man City, Gareth Taylor's been sacked. I just wanted to get your reaction to that, and I guess preparing for a new manager over such a short period of time.
Yeah, it's always sad to see manager being sacked, but the women's game is growing and now getting results, it's really important. I don't know the reasons and it's difficult for me to comment, but they have a new manager, Nick Cushing, and I think he has a lot of experience. He already won a lot of titles with Man City women's team before. So I think preparing this game, we probably know City wouldn't change a lot of things. They have big principles and we expect them maybe not to be able to change a lot from what we saw before. But the main focus it's in ourselves as well, because we know exactly what we need to do if we want to be successful on the game on Saturday. So yeah, we prepared the game as much as the same as we did before.
And we're coming into the latter part of the season, obviously, where you mentioned there's a lot of really important fixtures. Almost every game feels like a final. How important is it for your side to get a success from this game against Manchester City, especially with the ambitions you have to win so much more silverware?
Yeah, the game on Saturday is an opportunity for the club to grab the first trophy, and I think that's the main focus for us. Obviously, playing Man City 4 times in 12 days, the first game is really important, and as I already said, I think we'll take game by game. But in terms of results, but also in terms of mental, really important to be able to win on Saturday.
Lovely, thank you. Best of luck.
Thanks for doing it. Who'd like to go next? Asif, thank you.
Hi, Sonia. In each of your 3 seasons as a manager, you've won a trophy. This would be your first for Chelsea. Does winning on Saturday mean that whatever else happens in the season, it would have been a successful season for you?
The main focus for me is to make sure the club has the opportunity to win the first trophy on Saturday, and I think that's the main thing. Anytime we are in that situation, we just need to make sure we work really hard and we'll be ready. We prepare the week on the best way possible to be ready for the game on Saturday. But of course, our ambitions are really clear. We said from the beginning of the season we want to be in every competition in a position where we can fight for titles. And that's the first opportunity for us to show we have this winning mentality and opportunity for us to win the first trophy. So really important moment for the club.
Chelsea have obviously lost the last 3 League Cup finals. It was before your time, but is that something you've investigated with the staff and players to find out the reasons why?
Not really, just because I think we made a lot of changes since last summer. I think, as I said, we had this transition with me coming as a new manager, but also we changed some staffs and some players in the squad. So I just want to focus in the future, but also how we can be able to win on Saturday. That's the main thing for me.
And just finally, you had to submit your revised Champions League squad to UEFA last night. I'm assuming you added Naomi Girma and Keira Walsh, so who's the third player? Is it Sam Kerr or Nick Cushing?
So I made the decision. I spoke with my players. So Sam Kerr will be the one who will be on the Champions League squad. Mia Fishel won't be in the squad for the Champions League this season. So yeah, difficult decision to make, because obviously the players will always want to be in the squad. But I spoke to them, I explained why I made that decision, and I think the most important thing is now it's clear for everyone, and we'll see in the future.
And have you been able to have Becky Spencer as an emergency cover for?
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you, Asif. Yep.
On the topic of Sam Kerr, is her being in the Champions League squad, do we think that she will be back by the end of the season?
I just want to make it clear, I think it's not really fair to expect from a player who has been injured for now 15 months, coming into the season at this moment. We just expect her to be the hero in the team. I think we have the squad to be able to be successful for the end of the season. And for Sam, we'll see. She's progressing very well in her rehab. But I just want her to feel like the main focus for her will be to work really hard, be the best version of herself. And if we have positive news and she can bring into the team her experience, but also her competencies, it will be great. But I just want her to focus step by step. But the main thing for me, it's just making sure she works hard and she just come back in the squad.
And is the fact that you've lost the last 3 League Cup finals a bit more motivation to try and get the win out of this one, and maybe even win the quadruple at the end of the season?
I think that's a new season, as I said, different game. So I think we just need to be going into this game with confidence. I think the results we got until now are really good, and I think we are in a good place in terms of being confident. We expect a really hard and difficult game because Man City has a really good squad, good players, top class players. But we just feel we are ready to go into the game on Saturday and to face a really good team. But we are really well prepared, and we feel ready to play the game on Saturday.
Helen, next, please.
Yes. Sonia, you saw me interviewing Sandy Baltimore on Sunday, and you stood there and laughed while I was trying to do it in French. And I just wondered if you could tell me a little bit, because I watched her very closely that game, about her sort of special qualities. But she seems very adaptable. She takes the set pieces, she seems to be all over the place, and quite humble and modest as well. I wonder if you could tell me a little bit about her. And also, did you scout her during those 7 games you played PSG last season? Did you just say, I want her at the end of the season?
I know Sandy quite well. We played against each other a lot of times when she was an academy player at PSG, but also when she was in the first team. She's a really good player, so I think the club started the conversation with Sandy even before they knew I was coming as a manager. But when we started to talk about the future and the squad, I was really happy. Sandy was part of the target for the squad. As you just said, she's really humble on the pitch, but also off the pitch. But she works really hard, and in possession of the ball, she is really talented. With her left foot, she's able to run in and out of the corridor, up and down, and I think, she just brings such a lot of qualities to the team on the game day. So really happy to have her. She's able to possess the ball under pressure, and she's a really good player for us, especially in build-up, but also higher on the pitch.
And also, she scores amazing volleys too. That volley was just incredible. And with these, everyone's talking about this group of games coming up, and we spoke a little bit on Sunday about it, but do you look at it as a group, or do you look at them sort of individually? Because it's quite hard now with Nick Cushing coming in, and I don't think you've coached or played against his teams before. So you don't really know what to expect. He's coming back, but he's got a whole different load of players. So
we look at these 4 games, as I said, we'll take them one by one, but also we need to anticipate and look at the bigger picture and all the block. So when I say that, of course, in terms of management, This is where it's really important to have depth on the squad. So we know it won't be possible for all the players to play 4 times 90 minutes. So this is where we need to be prepared to rotate the squad, and we know already how we want to do that in the different games, different competitions, but also my job is to make sure going into the game on Saturday, I learn as much as I could about Nick. When he was before with Man City, he had a lot of success, as I said, but also when he was in New York with the men's team. So yeah, I think I'm prepared to go into the game expecting maybe what he could do on the game on Saturday.
And if you could only win one of these 4 trophies, which one would you choose?
I can't answer that question. It's not in my mind. So yeah, it's funny actually, because we were on the pitch in training session with one player and we were working in IDPs, and she was asking me to just play her bad balls. And I tried so hard, but I couldn't. And I'm not saying like I was the best player, but just like, yeah, my thinking can't go like this. So yeah, we just need to make sure we have the right mentality going into every game with the winning mentality and wanting to win as much as we can. We know it will be difficult for sure, but yeah, we want to fight for every game and making sure we just give everything in every game.
Thank you. Good luck.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Jessie, thank you.
Hey Sonia. In terms of approaching the final, you've obviously managed in a number of finals before very successfully. How do you, as a manager, prepare your players for, the natural reality that this is a bigger game and it will mean more?
I'm lucky enough to have in my squad a lot of players who have a lot of experience. I think most of them, they have already been in that situation, playing in big tournaments with the national team, but also with the club. And I think they are prepared, and from their experience, they know how to prepare these games. But the main thing coming from me is to make sure the game plan is ready, everything is clear, in terms of tactics. And in terms of mental part, I think the confidence is a big one. So I just make sure my players are as much confident as they can be, finding the right balance between being confident but also humble going into this game, and making sure we work hard to get things right. But that's the main thing, just giving them the confidence they need.
And in terms of some of those injuries, Walsh, Girma, Reiten and Mpome, can you give a little bit more detail about where they are? Like, will we expect to see them at all over these 4 games against City?
We have been assessing Naomi, and I think we'll take week by week with her. Keira Walsh is not too far from joining the group. It was just a little bit short for her this weekend. Mylis, same as Naomi. We have been assessing her and we'll take week by week. And I think with Guro it will be maybe a little bit longer. We still have a small chance to see her before the end of the block, but not sure 100%.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Jessie. Kit.
Hi, Sonia.
Hi.
Just going back to Sam and just one on her, if that's okay. Just how concerning is it essentially that she's looking at kind of 15, 16 months out injured? Because while not necessarily anyone's fault that she's been out that long, that is a very long time for any player to be out with an injury.
Everyone is different. Everyone reacts differently from the beginning, the surgery and everything. So it's really difficult to say and to put time frame in every injury. So for some, we have been in this time frame, and I think like now we just need to focus on what we need to do with her every day to make sure she's the most close to come back on the pitch. But you always expect, and our job is to make sure in terms of performance we are efficient the way we work. But sometimes even if you have high expectations, it doesn't go the way you want, and you need to just have plan B, plan C from that.
Is there a particular reason why it hasn't gone the way you want?
Everyone is different, so maybe you can expect from what player after her ICL to say she could be back after 10 months. For some others you will say 13, 14 months, so it's difficult to predict.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Kit. Catherine, next, please.
Hey, Sonia.
Hi.
We have have a saying in England that's called new manager bounce. When a team gets rid of or sacks their manager and brings somebody in, it can sometimes have an instant impact and you see them kind of respond positively really quickly. Is that something you've got to be aware of going into this final, that Man City could kind of feel re-energised and refreshed by potentially new ideas?
Yeah, that's a possibility for sure. Yeah, I'm expecting Nick to be able to bring some positive energy to the group, to Man City group. So yeah, that's a possibility. But yeah, we are ready. No matter what happened to them, in a positive or negative way. I think the main focus for us is to be focused on our team and how we can perform on Saturday.
You said you kind of did quite a bit of reading about him and studying of kind of how his teams play. Him and Emma Hayes had quite a few kind of ding-dong battles over the years between Chelsea and Man City. Did you kind of look at some of those games as well?
Yes, I will watch some of the games when he was the manager for the women's team. So yeah, it was interesting to see the games against Chelsea, but also some of the games he played against Arsenal, and yeah, interesting.
Before we jump across to Zoom, Tom, yeah, no problem.
Hi Sonia,
Hi.
thanks for speaking to us today. I wanted to ask you about that with Nick Cushing. You know, obviously he hasn't managed a women's team since 2020. How much can you read into his time at New York FC when you're looking at how he might set up the team on Saturday?
It's difficult, obviously, for me to be 100% sure. But again, the squad didn't change, so he has the same players as Gareth had before. So this is why I think like you cannot change everything in 4 days. But obviously, yeah, with Man City, we know they have these big principles for the women's team, but also for the men's team. And yeah, I'm not expecting like something will change extremely. But yeah, let's see. We prepared the game with this unpredictable thing. But yeah, again, I think it's also important for us to focus on ourselves, our strengths, and how we can hurt them in the game on Saturday.
And I wanted to ask you as well, you have a bit of a history, or a bit of a habit of creating history at like kind of old English stadiums. You know, won Lyon's first Champions League, or captain of the first Champions League at Craven Cottage, and then at Euro 2005, you captained France to that win at Deepdale, I think it was.
Yeah.
Is there something about those kind of stadiums that makes you feel at home?
Not yet. Maybe one day. But no, I think the main thing for me is, yeah, again, this game is an opportunity for us to grab the first trophy in the season. We are going to play in a nice stadium and, yeah, great atmosphere. And I think that's something good for the players. But again, you know, these finals for me are more for the players. This is the game they want to be involved, they want to play. And as a manager, you just need to make sure you put them in the best possible version of themselves to perform on the day.
And last one from me, I just wanted to ask you about set pieces and corners on the weekend. I think you had 10 corners against Crystal Palace and not all of them were productive. I just wanted to ask you if that's something you've been working on, or is it just something that it just didn't work out on the day and you just keep on doing the way you're doing?
I think you should by this time know me. It's difficult for me not just to let things going without yeah, working on it. So no, the set pieces are really important. I think you can see on the men's game, but also the women's game in the big tournaments. It's one out of 3 goals in the big competitions, and that's something really important. So yeah, we have been working since the beginning of the season. We had a plan for beginning of season until December, and another plan for January until the end of the season. We are going with the second plan now, and yeah, things are working quite well, even if we would like to score even more goals from the set pieces. But yeah, I hope the players just kept them for the next games.
Thank you, Sonia.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Tom. Abby.
Hiya.
Hi.
So we know that Mia played a game with the under-21s yesterday. Is that meaning that she's close to a return, or has she still got a few weeks?
I'm sorry, can you repeat this one, please?
So
Yeah.
Mia played a game
Yeah.
with the under-21s yesterday.
Yeah, sorry.
Does that mean that she's close to a return, or?
As you could see, Mia was in the squad the last 2 games with the first team. I just didn't feel it was the great moment for her to come in. So yeah, she had the opportunity to play yesterday 45 minutes with the under 18. I think it was something really positive for her, but also for us. I think having these 45 minutes will bring her more confidence, and I think going into these big games we'll see. Maybe she will have the opportunity to come in. She feels ready mentally and physically, so yeah, let's see what happens.
And also, I guess 16,000 tickets have been sold for Saturday. How does this support help the team, and do you think that sometimes it can also hinder it as well?
No, I think, as I said, most of my players have a lot of experience going to these games with a great atmosphere. We are really looking forward for having our fans in the stadium. They have been really great since the beginning of the season. In every game we can feel their support, and I think, again, on site today we are looking forward to see them and to feel them supporting the team. It's really important for us.
Brilliant, thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Abby. Kate, have you got any questions? You're all good? All right, we'll jump across to Zoom for a couple of quick ones, please, guys. Thanks for waiting patiently. Can we come to you first, Soph? Great hat.
Hi, Sonia.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Thanks.
You alluded to the changes that you made since you came in. What do you think has been the biggest change you made, and what is the reason why you've been quite successful and it's appeared really seamless?
I'm not really keen to always compare what I'm doing with what probably Hema was doing before. But what I'm trying to do is to make our team to be as much unpredictable as we can be. I think we have strengths enough to be able to possess the ball in certain moments on the game, but also we have the strengths to have a direct football sometimes and to hurt the teams with this style. So yeah, for me it's making sure we recognize as a team when we need to possess the ball to attract the opposition, but also when we have space on the pitch to play more direct football. We are able to do that to hurt the opposition.
Brilliant, thank you. And just a question about Aggie. I interviewed her last week, and she was talking about how last year was kind of a breakout year and how she's moved on this year. What have you seen in her as she developed as a young player?
Yeah, as you just mentioned, she's a young player, but she already has a lot of talent. I think Aggie is working hard. She has the right mentality. For a manager, she's someone I really enjoy working with. She always wants to make sure she works in every training session, but she always wants to stay at the end to do some IDPs. And I think from the last game she had with us, the last 2-3 games after the international break, I really enjoyed her performances and I think she did well. So it's good for her confidence, and she knows she can help the team to perform as a starter, but also if she has to come in.
Is her versatility a real key, because she was playing the number 10 for a little while against Brighton, I think?
Yeah, and I really liked her games when she was playing that position. So yeah, she showed a lot.
Brilliant, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thanks, Soph. Dan, next, please.
Hi, Sonia. Hope
Hi,
you're well.
Dan. Yes.
I'm sure Emma Hayes will be supporting the team from afar at the weekend, but yeah, has she kind of spoken to you? Has sent any kind of good luck messages, anything like that?
She didn't send a message yet, but I'm expecting to receive one in the few hours. Yeah, she's always supporting the team from far away, from distance. Yeah, it's great. I think Chelsea will be always a really special club for her. And yeah, so if I can make her happy with making sure Chelsea continues to win titles, I'll make sure with the players we'll try as much as we can to do that.
And just in terms of penalties, obviously the game could need penalty kicks. What's your kind of approach to that? Do you kind of practice them in training? Do some players like to take them, some players not? And do you kind of have a plan, ahead of the game in terms of who might take them?
Yeah, we practice them. I think that's really important, even if it's always difficult to replicate the environment and the atmosphere on game day. But I think going into the game, if you can give some certainty to your players, practicing them, I think it's always better. So yeah, you could see again yesterday on the Champions League men's game, that's a really important thing. So we need to make sure we just don't leave things like this. Every detail is important, so practicing them is something I like to do.
Thanks, Sonia. That's great. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Thanks, Dan. We'll finish with Alex and his excellent moustache if we can. And Alex, I'd just flag, we're up against the clock, mate. We've only got 4.5 minutes because we haven't got the premium account on this. So, Alex, if there's any chance we could keep it to like 2 questions, that'd be amazing, if possible.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, Sonia.
Hi.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you've spoken about it being important to get the first sort of trophy for the season, but just from a personal perspective, how important do you feel it is for you to get your first piece of silverware as Chelsea manager? Like, do you feel a bit of pressure to sort of get the first one done, or just what's you thinking?
As I said, like for me, the main thing is a club trophy. So as a manager, obviously, yes, I'm here to help the club and the squad to get trophies. But I would be the most happier person if we win on Saturday, but just for my players and for the club. For sure, like coming into a new club when you have the opportunity to win titles, it's always better and positive. But I don't feel any pressure. I just feel like that's a positive pressure coming into the game. Like, we are really excited to be part of this competition, to be part of this final, and we have the opportunity to compete for a title. That's the main thing.
That's all from me. Cheers. Best of luck for Saturday.
Thank you.
Lovely stuff. Thanks so much, everyone. We'll leave it there.
Thank
Have
you,
a lovely
everyone.
afternoon. Thank you.
See you on Saturday.
See you Saturday.